Hello, my name's Raylene. I'm here with Sylvia. She's one of my closest friends. She's another smart lady. And I'm just going to ask Sylvia to tell me a little bit about her life and her experiences and what it's like to be her at this time. And how are you, Sylvia?
I'm fine, thank you for asking.
She's looking lovely. She's putting her makeup on, doing her hair. She always looks fabulous and she presents really well to the world.
And that's really important, especially at this stage in my life. So the real battle that I've had at this particular point is cancer, and the last thing I want to do every morning when I get up is look at myself and look sick. So I'll make a really big effort to spruce myself up every day so that even the simplest things like going to the bathroom and washing your hands and you're looking in the mirror and I'm not thinking to myself, oh God, you look so sick today. I look at myself and think you're doing all right, kiddo. So that's my theory.
Well, I think you look amazing, and I didn't know there was a whole, I know obviously Sylvia's got cancer, and I know that she's had it for a very long time, and we've been very close, and I've been very fortunate because when I met Sylvia, we met in Carlton through a meetup group. We had a lot of fun times, and then I think it was about 12 months after I met you, you got a diagnosis.
No, it was sooner.
Sooner.
It was absolutely sooner. It was when we took over a particular Carlton meetup group, when we started to run it. We had all these big plans and we got ourselves all set up.
We're going to get boyfriends and live a fabulous life.
And yeah, of course, we're running this wonderful singles program, and worked really well. We did meet a lot of nice people, and then bugger me dead, what happened? I ended up with this dreadful diagnosis, and small wonders in the world. You have to believe that we meet certain people for a reason, because Raylene not only lived in Carlton, we also worked in the hospital that I was operated on, and the hospital that they started giving me chemo. So lunch breaks, tea breaks, used to come and hold my hand, and if I had to have a cry, you'd have a cry with me.
Yeah, coffee. I'd bring you
coffee.
Then
real coffee.
Then I moved over to Peter Mac, which is across the road from the Women's where Sylvia was, and coincidentally all the cancer services from the Royal Women's transferred over to Peter Mac. And so I was in the hospital again.
My personal coffee lady, weren't you?
And then we also lived close to each other, so that was good. So sometimes we'd walk home, she from hospital and me from work, and
had dinner together, a lovely little dumpling place around the corner.
Or Brunetti's, that was one of our haunts as well.
Oh, yes. And the movies there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a great little place. Don't know why you had to leave it.
Well,
go to Sydney.
Yes. So then I moved to Sydney, and obviously kept in touch with Sylvia, and I'm back in Melbourne now because all coronavirus has happened since I moved to Sydney in 2018, come down to Melbourne a couple of times before the virus. Was able to come down during the virus, but very limited on people and being very safe and meeting people outside, which the lovely Sylvia was never scared of me. She met me outside, and we were able to catch up maybe once or twice during this last couple of years.
Well, yeah, look, it wasn't often because Victoria got locked down. I think we're still branded as the place that got locked down the most in the whole blooming world.
Yes, that's a definite thing.
But how lucky was I? I was allowed to walk 2 kilometres or 5 kilometres from my place, and I was able to walk to the nicest takeaway coffees, nicest gardens. And
She's talking about Carlton Gardens. We love that. They're where the exhibition building is. If ever you get a chance, to come into Carlton, go and have a look around there. Have a look around Lygon Street. It's a bit disappointing. There's a lot of things closed down. But we are not going to talk about the bloody virus. That's not what we're here about. Sylvia, your journey has begun with, the diagnosis of...
ovarian cancer, the one that we all dread.
And the outcome of that, so was it 2008?
No,
2015,
they did a full hysterectomy.
Yep.
And that followed with 6 months of, well, probably 7 months of chemo.
Yep.
When you took into account the delays.
And
do you remember the New Year's Eve? We sat.
I do.
I had a headscarf
Yes.
on, and we sat across the road watching the fireworks.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. That
It
was
was
our first New Year's together.
Yeah, and it was just us and some other people that we didn't know, obviously, watching the fireworks. But it was just easy, just an easy night.
On the rug.
And then you went into remission after that.
I did for about 18 months.
And we were like very happy about that.
Yeah, and then one day I was carrying some milk at work, and I thought, I feel something tugging at my tummy, and it was a bit sore. And these feelings would come and go, and then one particular weekend, they were just little tugging, little pins of pain in my gut. Like having a period pain, really, but there's no period pains now. And they definitely weren't in my imagination. They weren't phantom pains. And so off I went to my local doctor here in Carlton again. She's been my doctor for like 30 years, thank God. Always knew I wasn't a hypochondriac. And I said to her, I feel a little bit of pain. And she said to me, I'm not taking any chances with you. And got on the phone and booked me in for bloods and booked me in for a scan and booked me in for even something else, which I never had to have. But within 24 hours, she rings me up and says, your gynaecologist is going to call you. It's come back and she'll tell you what we need to do.
Yeah. So when Sylvia first got diagnosed, and that was in like 4 days, you were told you had it, and then on the Thursday afternoon or something?
That's exactly right. I was with the gynaecologist. You know what it's like trying to get these appointments. She had a spot for me waiting and ready to go and see her, and she had me already booked to go meet Ali at the Peter Mac, all within days.
But when you first had your operation, I'm going back to the first diagnosis, you were told on the Thursday night and you were in hospital by Monday.
By Monday, yeah.
And then you had your operation on Tuesday?
No, Monday.
Monday. So that's how quick
it
happened. It was just like, no, you've got a problem coming in. And that was from?
That was Michael Quinn.
Yeah.
Professor Michael Quinn.
Yeah.
Brilliant man. He's retired now. Deserves to spend time with his family. His life's passion was to identify that ovarian cancer started in the fallopian tubes.
Yeah.
And I was one of his examples.
Yeah.
That's where my cancer started. But his passion was there because that's what got his mum.
Oh.
And he made it. Did I
Yeah.
not it was his life's passion.
Yeah.
To save women with ovarian cancer, because he couldn't save his mum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But he sat me down on that particular Thursday, and he said to me, because he had done a curette and it showed cancer cells.
Yep.
And he said, I don't know where it is, but you do have cancer, and I need you to walk across the hallway behind his little rooms to get the bloods done. And within an hour, I had to cross the road, because that's where they did the CT scans, the blue building across the road.
Yep.
And Thursday, we're going to do a full Monday we're going to do a full hysterectomy. And on the Friday morning, he rang me up and he said, Sylvia, it's in the fallopian tube. And so I ring up Monica, my doctor, and told her, and she was so sad and wished me luck. And she said, Sylvia, if I had ovarian cancer, it would be Michael Quinn. I would want to operate on me. And that just gave me all the confidence in the world.
Yeah.
That, you know, her saying, like, everybody says when they've got the best of the best.
You got the best of the
I
best.
had the best of the best. He saved my life.
Best location as well. So then, well, you know, fast forward many years down the track, like I don't know if people are aware, but the gynecological cancers, the outcomes aren't always great, and they're always like, maybe, was it within 5 years? If you didn't have a remission, you'd be pretty lucky.
Most ovarian cancer, the statistics of surviving 5 years are pretty low. So
Yeah.
I'm one of the ones that have survived the 5 years.
Thank God for trials. Well, and scientists.
They had me. The first treatment I had when it came back that time was a trial, and it was they called it a PARP inhibitor, and that lasted probably about 14, 16 months. It reduced the cancers down to the point that they could see spots, but they didn't know whether they were dormant or if they had died. They had no idea. But then obviously they were just dormant, having a bit of a
Bastards.
sleep.
I'm talking about the cancer, not the bloody doctors.
The cancer's got a PhD.
Yeah.
I swear to God, because it figures out.
I've never heard that before.
It figures out the DNA of the drug that's attacking it. Figures it out, and
Mutates
then all of a
slightly.
sudden it mutates itself so that it can come back and get you. I once heard somebody talk about cancer like this, and you know, a lot of people sort of say to you, you can walk out on the street and get hit by a bus. You know, anybody can get hit by a bus, you know, none of us know what our futures are. And the reply to that was, and this is so very true, the difference between me and you that could just get hit by a bus is that bus is stalking me.
Yes, it's on your shoulder, right there, every single day.
Every single day. So this cancer has a mind of its own. It has its own ability to mutate itself. And now, you know, we're in 2022. It's mutated itself twice. Added to my issues, I've got the BRCA1 gene. And some people don't know what that is. Usually I say it's the Angelina Jolie gene.
Yes.
Because everybody knows who she is.
And they can
And
do the
she
research.
removed her breasts and she removed her ovaries because she knew she had the BRCA1 gene, and that's what killed her mum, and she was trying to save herself. And, you know, had I known I had the BRCA gene as well, because unfortunately, especially with Europeans, the oldies never really wanted to talk about having cancer, and I don't know that they ever used the word vagina, let alone a uterus. And so, where's the cancer, auntie? And it's like, oh, you know, the motion, the fingers are around the tummy area, you know, and sort of say, oh, you know, it's all around this area here. But, so it turns out that it comes from my dad's side. They're very confident it comes from my dad's side. And not all my brothers and sisters get tested, but the 4 of them that did, they've all come back negative.
Which is great for them.
Great for them, yeah. And one of my other brothers who does have children, he didn't get tested, but the children did, and they've come back negative.
Right.
So that's pretty good as well. And that's another thing we have in this country, which is really, really, really great, is identifying that when there is cancer and there is this gene, that they do test the family free of charge. To check to see, you know, what their status is. And
we are lucky for that health, our health system in that way.
Extremely lucky.
So Sylvia, you're on a new trial that you started a couple of weeks ago, and just recently, the reason I'm kind of in Melbourne at this time is because Sylvia Sylvia's very small girl, very slight girl.
Small
And
build.
and it's the first time in my whole life I've ever seen her with a gut. It looks like my gut, but
No,
my
it doesn't. I'm comparing right now, and I look like I'm 6 months pregnant. You judge.
and it's obviously very painful to have that because you never had any children, so she's never had that stretch. So when your gut swells, you get pain up your back, all over everywhere.
It puts pressure on your back, and your skin stretches so much. So it's a build-up of fluids. Your skin stretches so much that hurts.
Yeah.
And then the weight of the fluids, the stretching of your skin, some reason it also transfers all this pain into your back.
Yeah.
And it's just excruciating there. Your only comfort is laying on some fluffy pillows and try and lay flat.
Well, you actually had to go to hospital and get yourself drained.
Well,
and they didn't know what it was, did they?
Basically, they were fearing a bowel obstruction. Because I was eating less and less and my bowels were giving up the ghost, they were barely working. And I actually reached the point of feeling like I had to throw up. So I actually felt that I was so full right up to halfway through my rib cage. And it was just a really horrible feeling, let alone all the pain. But I had started the trial and that worked to my advantage as well, because this particular trial, let's go back to this particular trial, it is a brand new trial. It's a drug that has a receptor that targets a particular protein that I happen to have in my tumours. And so what it needs to do is they give you this infusion and this little receptor goes looking for the proteins and it should start knocking them out. But because it's so brand new, I'm the second person in the world that's on this trial.
Second person in the world to go on this new trial.
Peter Mac are running this trial. It's sponsored by AstraZeneca.
Okay.
Who's been given so much bad rap.
Yeah.
With this whole virus thing. But there's two of us on this trial, and because it's such a brand new drug and it's never been on humans prior to us two, the first admission had to be followed up by 2 consecutive appointments 2 days later, where they wanted more blood and do ECGs, make sure your heart's okay. And the fact that I went in 3 days in a row, they physically could see my deterioration with the problem of that build-up of fluids.
Yep.
And so on day 3, they did the tests that they did and said, you're not going home.
Yeah.
You're staying here. And rushed me off for a CT scan to make sure that the bowel hadn't obstructed. And that was okay, thank God. And that night, they drained 4 litres, just over 4 litres of liquid.
Which is a crazy amount. You think of 4 litres coming out from...
2 big cartons of milk. How's that?
That's a lot of extra weight.
To be carried.
Yeah.
I instantly lost weight on the scales. Because I did weigh myself. And that's actually a way to try and monitor myself as well.
Yeah, now she's back home. So I was able to come down and stay with her for a couple of days.
Yeah. But then they took out, don't forget, they took out nearly 2 more litres 2 days later.
So that's a total of 6 litres over 2 days of fluid around. So that's why, crazy. Anyway, so here we are today together, and I've got to catch a plane soon. Bloody hell. Anyway, so Sylvia, that's just her backstory. There's so much more to Sylvia than the cancer. She's a lovely human being. She's, helped many people through her life. She loves bloody dogs. God, whenever we go down the park, she bloody has every dog come up to Sylvia and she knows them all. They know her. They love her.
How about that gorgeous one last night?
Oh, that was cute.
Walked past Craig, walked past you, and just looked at me.
And she's going, oh, he's smiling. The dog's smiling. And he was so happy. Anyway, would you, I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. It's my first recording. So, Sylvia, with your wise wisdom of the world, what would you think that people should think about for their life, or what would be any advice that you would give to anybody?
One of the important things from a health perspective is, and I used the word hypochondriac before, is always trust and know your body. So from that perspective, if you're not feeling well, something's not quite right, don't let anybody tell you're a hypochondriac. Go and get it checked out, for starters.
Yep.
And it could be absolutely nothing 99.9% of the time.
Hopefully it's nothing.
But
yes.
always trust your body. You know your body. You know what's right and what's wrong. And then apply that to everything in life. It's your instincts.
Yep.
So, if instinctively you feel something's not quite right, something's missing, I've missed something, I don't know what it is, but I just don't quite feel right. Your instincts are telling you and trying to protect you.
Yep.
So one of the hardest things I think I found in my life, really, in the early years, is really listen to my instincts and trust my instincts. And that's, I probably could base that on having very little confidence when I was a lot younger. But listening to your instincts will get you far in life. And then the other thing I learned through being sick is that there's always going to be a new norm. So what's normal for you today may change, and you may need to create another new norm. So if you look at my illness, rather than get depressed because I can't do this or I can't do that, or last week I was able to climb a mountain but this week I can't, and the fact is I never will be able to.
Yep.
Don't sit there and get depressed about it. You just got to create a new normal.
Put your makeup on, do your hair, keep going.
That I can control that.
And if it's a day where you just feel like lying in bed and not looking good, so be it.
That's it. But I'll admit, unless I'm suffering from a headache or extremely bad pain, I will still get up, have that shower, put my makeup on, fix my hair, and even if it's just a walk around the block,
Yep.
I will do that.
Yep.
That's one of the things that I did learn through my illness, is that to combat fatigue was exercise. Now, you ain't gonna see me in no gym.
Yeah.
I find them the most boring things, doesn't do it for me.
Yep.
But I do enjoy a walk, and I've maintained that. So,
and
I
you
got
do
that
have
from Michael King told me that. He said combat fatigue with exercise.
And you're lucky because there's beautiful parks around here. So that's another key, is like nature.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if it's only a tiny little garden somewhere, a backyard, fresh air,
They say smell the roses, but like seriously, look at those beautiful flowers around you. Look at the trees. Like how gracious, are the trees around us.
Yes, gorgeous
the
trees.
parks that we have here, whether it's curtain gardens or exhibition gardens, the trees are just majestic. And looking at them, if you just really look at them, you can just draw strength from them.
Yeah.
They really are amazing. But so that's the other thing. Don't be so hard on yourself when you have to find a new normal for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's really good advice, actually.
Yeah.
And that can go every single day.
Absolutely.
It's day to day. And as women, like we are, and what you were saying about your instinct, I think sometimes, like particularly women of our generation, as little kids were seen or not heard, or, lots of women had lots of things happen when they were kids and it impacted later or all through their lives, obviously. And that's where I guess we lost a bit of our ability to trust ourselves, because we were told we don't know.
That's right.
So you do lose that.
We were told that.
You've got to come back to it.
Yeah, yes, no, definitely. So listening to your instincts and just believe in yourself and take care of yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, and try not to do I have to lay in bed all day.
Yeah.
If you are heading down, recognise it for what it is.
Unless you've got a hangover.
Well, there's a few exceptions to that one. There are a few exceptions, but try and recognise what put you there,
Yeah.
and just do the littlest things that you know that's going to make you happy.
To get back to what the best you can be.
Yeah.
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 I'm going to close this conversation now because I've not got much more time before I have to go. But thank you, Sylvia, for sharing your story with us. She's a bloody fabulous girl. I love her very much. And I'm not going to make her cry. I don't know why, because we've just both put our makeup on. We look freaking fabulous. Okay.
We do. Thanks, darling.
Bye.